Good evening, Professor James Tang, my team members, and the colleagues. Thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule to attend today's workshop. Today's workshop is on competitive research funding scheme for local self-financing degree sector. Many of you are familiar with this scheme, but some of you may be new to this scheme. So before I share our panel's observations, let me quickly go through the review process, the assessment process. Over the years, the UGC has provided tremendous support to our local self-finance sectors. I was told that the 10th call for proposals has been launched, and they're open for application now. So after today's workshop, everybody can speed up, and we look forward to receiving your very good quality proposal. Let me quickly go through the assessment process. So once we received your proposals, the subject convener will assign readers. We have 5 subject conveners. They are in business studies, engineering, physical sciences, and humanity and social sciences, as well as the biology and medicine, 5 areas. So after our subject convener assign readers, the first reader will nominate the external reviewers. So this is very important. The external reviewers will look at your proposals and give you comments and ratings. So after the external reviewers submit their review comments, our first and second reader will consolidate and consider their comments and give you some assessment readings. Once everything has been done, we will have assessment panel meeting. The assessment panel holistically review or examine your proposals. After we recommend the ratings, the steering committee needs to endorse our recommendation. And finally, after the endorsement, you will receive the final results. I just want to clarify the funding results are final unless you identify some procedure irregularities, otherwise the decision is final. There are 3 schemes under our scheme. The first one I want to introduce is this faculty development scheme, which is called the FDS. This is where we receive most applications. Taking last year as example, in total we received 264 proposals, if I remember correctly. And so for these 264 proposals, we will use this similar evaluation criteria. We'll look at the objective research agenda, research design and methodology, feasibility, innovativeness, as well as research impact. So basically, the FDS is, I would say, very competitive. Guess how many proposals are eventually funded? Among 264, how many proposals eventually are successful? Okay. 50, 70, 80, 100? Well, no one guess, so no dinner. 71. So this is a very competitive scheme. I want to share some of our observations. The objective is to help you to strengthen your proposal in this round of submission. And by the way, this slide does not intend to serve as a success formula. I trust everybody has your own a success formula. Our panel just want to share some of our own observations and advice. For some successful proposals, we observe that they share some commonalities. For example, those good proposals always have clear objective, solid theoretical framework, and rigorous research design with potential academic impact. And some good proposals have very clear budget plan with very strong justifications. Well, let me ask you one question. What's the difference between a consultancy project and a research project? To be honest, our panel appreciate our colleagues' ability to identify some very trendy, innovative, phenomenon or problems. But sometimes we find out this proposal might need to be readjusted towards the research direction. The reason I'm asking this question is that for research proposal, we look at the practical importance. At the same time, we also look at the theoretical contributions of the research project. So we cannot just, solve the problem. We solve the problem, at the same time, we need to present it to the external reviewers and the panels. Okay, this research project really have some contributions. Contribution to the literature, contribution to the theory. But of course, we also emphasize the research impact. Our previous speakers have already explained what research impact means. For the last point, budget plan, we observed very often our researchers will submit 3 research budget items. The first one, of course, supporting staff, right? Research supporting staff. The second one, expenditure of equipment. And third one, funding for engaging teacher relief, right? So typically those are the 3 budget items you would like to submit. But our advice is that please do provide justifications, not only justifications, but strong justifications. So this is very important for a successful proposal. For the second point, objectives, I also want to explain a little bit. Each proposal will state some research objectives, but sometimes our panel find out these objectives are too broad and there's no cohesive theme for these objectives. So make sure when you develop your proposal, check your research objectives to see if there are any inconsistency among your research objectives. The second scheme I want to introduce is this inter-institutional development scheme. The objective of this scheme is to develop our individual researchers' capability as well as to keep them updated with this latest development in the research areas. So oftentimes, our proposal will list some kind of activities, for example, workshops and conferences. Here are some criteria we, as a panel, will look at when we evaluate the proposal, including objectives, proposed research-related activities, feasibility, as well as impacts. We want to share some good practices. For those good IIDS proposals, we observed oftentimes they are well organized with clear objectives and they are timely in addressing the research gap and understudied areas. And in recent years, we find more and more proposals taking an interdisciplinary approach, which is quite encouraging. And sometimes we found some good proposals really provide a very detailed contingency plan, which is something we would like to encourage our PIs to consider. But some other proposals really, I would say, do not have a very focused outline of the program. So again, this is really to the objective. We hope our PIs can really spend a lot of time to really think about that objective, what kind of objective you want to achieve, and what kind of deliverables you want to achieve. And this scheme is called the Institutional Development Scheme, Research Infrastructure Grant. This is where we see proposals requesting large amount of funding. So the panel will be very careful when we evaluate those kind of a scheme. When we do the evaluations, we'll look at the following 4 criteria, including long-term impact accessibility, expected deliverables, and the likelihood of building up research capacity of the institution, and feasibility and implementation strategy, as well as the financial arrangement. I just want to highlight one point. Well, as I mentioned, this is the scheme that aim to help the institution to build up the research capacity in their strategic areas. So naturally, we would expect this proposal has a very clear linkage with your strategic area. So our suggestion would be, if institutions want to submit IIDSR, please read carefully your strategic plan. I understand every institution have your own strengths, but ask yourself, what do you want to be known for, and what is your strategic goal? So once you find an answer to those questions, you can start to list out your objectives and research directions. We also identify some good practices for those good IIDS projects. So sometimes we find that the good proposals really have well-planned programs, and they have the new research elements, and of course they provide a detailed explanation how this project can be sustained over a longer period of time. By the way, sustainability is one of the very, very important aspects we would like our proposal and PIs to consider. When it comes to the interview stage, oftentimes I will ask the question, so what about the sustainability of this project? What will happen if the institution use up the funding? So are you going to stop this project? How are you going to continue this project and generate more productive effects? And this is the last scheme I want to introduce. This is called the Institutional Development Scheme and Collaborative Research Grant. So as the name tells, this scheme really encourages collaboration among institutions. And we will look at the criteria as including academic merit of the proposal, long-term goal of the proposal and its potential to develop into an area of strengths, opportunities for effective synergy among the participating researchers, viability, as well as research impact. So those are the major criteria we will look at when we evaluate this IIDS-C. Just want to share some, I would say, good practices of this ISD-C project. The good proposals, oftentimes, they have timely and important research topic with coherent research objectives. They have very clear research questions, and they list out the hypothesis, solid methods, as well as they have a reasonable budget for manpower. So those are the good attributes we would like our PIs to have in your research proposal. Again, one of the shortcomings I want to highlight is also this objective. Sometimes we do find that this research IIDS-C grant proposal have a very diversified objective. Our panel member have a difficult time understanding what kind of ultimate objective this research proposal wants to achieve. So research objective is quite important. I understand that in your proposal, you need to list out in point form 1, 2, 3, 4, the objectives. So again, for this scheme, objective is very important. I wish we could spend more time to clarify, define, and refine our research objectives. So now this is the information I want to share. Before I finish my sharing, I just want to make one more comment. I understand that, as I mentioned, among 264 proposals, 71 proposals were funded. So how can we, improve the success rate? Of course, all the proposals are merit-based. All the panel members, including myself, we evaluate the proposal based on academic quality, but I would like to offer some suggestions how we can improve the success rate. For institutions, we would like to encourage our institutions to organize some kind of a proposal development workshop before you submit your proposals. You have an internal workshop, and our colleagues can debate, discuss your proposal, refine your proposal before you do the proposal submission. And the second suggestion is that once you've done this internal evaluation, you can also solicit the comments, suggestions from external experts. And our institutions may offer some support, right, to send your proposals to the outside external reviewers to give you some feedback for you to make improvements before you submit the proposals. So those are the two suggestions we would like to make to help our institutions, to help our PIs to increase your success chance. Okay, thank you so much. And our colleagues are ready to take questions, right? Thank you.